let's see what we got going on there. Shalom. How you guys doing? Actually, I am going to be late. I gotta go run to my car real quick. When I turned on the computer, I'll wait until more people are on. There we go. Shalom, shalom. When I turned on the computer, it made me do an update. You know how it's like takes forever to get up to 100%. So that I had no choice when I turned on the computer. Then forgot my Bible, which it's way. See those tree line over there, or those trees across the street, those houses. Pretty much that's where my car's parked. I run and get my Bible. Now I am gonna have to run. There we go. I'm gonna have to run and go get my notes. I forgot my notes. I gotta run over there again. It's kind of whack. But anyways, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? While you guys mingle and talk. So yeah, I am late. I would have been late regardless because the update. But now I'm gonna be late because I have to make 2 runs. A little rusty. My bags aren't really packed. Not really have everything good. Coming back from Belize. I'll be right back. And say shalom to some people. You guys mingle and talk like you normally do. And we're about to get into the book. Now that I exerted more energy than I planned to do this whole Sabbath, let's get into the book, huh? Welcome, True Hebrews United, of the Almighty Yeshua. This is your beloved I gotta get another elector. Should love holiness instructor, discipleship, Joe Sergeant. About to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor to Yah, the creator of all things, the author and finisher of our faith, and for all the blessings that he does, for all the things, for him creating us, for allowing us to come to the truth. There's many people that will never hear the gospel in its purest form, and then there's many people that do hear the gospel in its purest form, like the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and they still didn't receive it. But the few that receive it had the power to become the sons of the Most High. So thank the Almighty for that. Thank the Almighty that you're able to hear this truth. Definitely double honors to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, and the deacons across the whole planet. Definitely appreciate shout out to Minister Daweed, Minister Wilmer, people holding the line, teaching the gospel, especially Minister Wilmer. He be saying some powerful stuff. Nothing against all the other ministers I know, but he be saying some powerful stuff sometimes in regards to loving for the brethren, in regards to their stance for the gospel. Definitely appreciate him. He'll probably never watch it because he has service at the exact same time I have service. But appreciate those ministers out there. If you guys ever go to Belize, we fellowship. Maybe you're finding a congregation or you feel like you're the only one struggling. You feel like the only person that's really trying to serve the Almighty in honesty and be genuine about it. A lot of people do it for show or do it for views or likes on the YouTube, Facebook, whatever, you know. So praise the Almighty. All the Facebook, YouTube people out there, I appreciate you guys, love you guys. Thank you for sharing these videos on the Facebook, liking them, comment, get in the message box. I encourage you to get in the message box, so a little shout out, you know what I'm saying? You never know, you might find something in common with a brother out there. I know there's a lot of people on the Facebook and YouTube that are by themselves looking for a place in truth. Everyone says they're in truth, but there's only one truth. So how am I going to not fall in the 99% of the people that's going to the lake of fire? So really just be praying, praying that the Almighty send someone or have you cross paths with ministers or people, brothers and sisters that can lead you to the right way. So with all that said being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and the scriptures do the talking. Let's get it. All right, shalom. Shalom all you guys. Let's get this party started. Sorry for being late. One was an update, so I was gonna be late forever anyways. Two, I forgot my Bible, so I ran and got my Bible. And three, I forgot my notes, so I had to run about 200 yards, you know what I'm saying, to my car and come back. I didn't want to leave my computer the first time. This time I was like, it's dead spread. Matthew chapter 13, praise the Almighty. All you new people on here, all you old people, hey, I love you guys. I want you guys to make it in the kingdom. Do what it takes to be saved. At the end of the day, you're going to get judged for every deed done in the flesh, whether good or evil. Let's just make it into the kingdom. Let's stop saying we're saved and start being saved. Start living saved. Matthew chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 1 through 10. Matthew chapter 13, verse 1 through 10. I'm definitely going to be hitting the be going over some things. We having new visitors and whatnot, but I'm gonna be adding more edification, more scriptures to it. Oh, shout out to Sister Wit. She got the I sent some shirts out with me to Belize. That way I could get them fringed up for super cheap. So got them done. She got some more shirts. So now these are gonna be my construction shirts, because on the job site I do construction, and then how in the Bay they charge a lot of money to get stuff. Like it'll be like 25 bucks to get something simple like some fringes and stuff. So I'm like, please, you smoking? Like, it's expensive in the Bay. So got some shirts now I could be super fringed up on there, whatnot. Praise the Almighty. Go back to my culture. Matthew chapter 13 verse 1. I'm already late, so let's get into the book. The same day went Yeshua out of the house and sat by the seaside. The great multitude were gathered together unto him. So he went out into the ship and he sat, and the whole multitude stood on the seashore. So they were standing on the seashore to listen what the Messiah had to say, what the Amashiach had to say to the people. They were attentive. Let's keep going. And he spake many parables unto them, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow, and he that sowed on some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured it. And some fell in the stony places where they had not much earth, wherewith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of the earth. And when the sun was risen, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But others fell on the good ground, brought forth some 100-fold, some 6-fold, and some 30-fold. Who that have the ear, let him hear. And then I'm going to read verse 10. And it says, and disciples came and said unto him, why did thou speak unto them in parables? And we're going to get to that in a little bit. So let's get into the parable he's using. A parable is when you use something in the natural, which I do actually a lot, to explain things of the spiritual. So I use things in the natural, you could call them parables if you will, and I'm going to show you a couple of them later on, to explain how these scriptures apply to our everyday life. Not really to explain so much the kingdom of the Most High, but to explain how these scriptures apply to our everyday life and our decisions we make, whether we stand for holiness and righteousness. So, give me verse 18, same chapter. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word and the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catches it that which is sown in his heart, and this is he which received the seed by the wayside. So when someone hears the word in the very beginning, they're not going to understand a lot of it anyways because it's new to them. And this is where atheist comes in. This is where Big Bang and evolution comes in. This is where, people got to believe in something to get through their life. This is where religion is superstitious. This is where other outside influences come in, because it says Satan comes and takes that. He'll send people and things. This is where when some people come in and don't really understand the Bible, but they believe in a higher power, and you send your kids to school and then they come out as atheists. This is the wayside. They never really understood it, even on the scratch of the surface understood it, and then Big Bang comes in, evolution, we came from a monkey, all this stuff comes in, and it takes them away from the wayside. So let's keep going. But he that receiveth the seed in stony places, the same that heareth the word, and with joy receiveth it. And this is what we're going to get to today. With joy receiveth it, and yet have no root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation and persecution arises because of the word, and by and by he is offended. He that receiveth seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he become unfruitful. And I've seen that a lot with people that are actually obeying. I'm talking about believers, people that actually walk. They get complacent, they get choked out. Solomon, hear the word, he got choked out with the cares of his wife, he fell and he became unfruitful. He went into adultery. People get choked out, they get complacent, they get choked out, stuff starts seeming appeasing, they spend a little less time reading the word, a little more time watching TV, a little more time switching that thumb on their Facebook, and a little less time in prayer, and they get choked out with the cares of this world. Next thing you know, some of the things they buy show where their heart's at. Our kingdom is not of this world. It says the fruit of the gift of the Almighty is to enjoy the fruit of your labor. And so I do believe in treating yourself. Take a little bit of your paycheck and treat yourself, or save up a little bit of your paycheck and treat yourself big time. You saved up a couple of months. Yeah, I got that jet ski or whatever. Definitely treat yourself and enjoy the fruit of your labor. But you're not kingdom focused. These are the people that have no problem buying the big screen TV and then don't feed the homeless. Have no problem buying the nicest shoes or nicest clothes and don't feed the homeless. Don't go visit the brother. Don't go see if brother. There's times where I used to go to brother's house and I'm like, oh man, can I get something to drink? Not because I will get something to drink, but I'm checking how much food they got in their fridge. Because if they don't have no food, I'm like, oh, what kind of Bible you have? And I'll leave like $50 or $100 in their Bible. And I'm like, oh man, you can have it back. And I'll just leave it. Don't even say nothing, just bounce. I know it says don't tell your right hand what your left hand is doing. But I'm giving examples of my heart is for the brethren. I always tell the brethren, when I eat, we all eat. You know what I'm saying? If I make it big, if I stuff clicks or whatnot, and the Almighty was able to gift me, we all, everyone at True Hebrews United, even brothers from different congregations, if I know they're obeying, I can't help all the brothers on the planet, but if I eat, we all gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? All the brothers of the Most High, all the sisters of the Most High, mothers, elders of the Most High, we gonna be doing good. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mindset I have. I'm not just, hey, I got my own, you better get yours. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm really about the body of Amashiach, and you could tell I'm not choked out with the cares of this world. I'm really focused on helping people, saving souls, and making sure you guys make it into the kingdom. So let's keep going. Verse 23, but he that receiveth seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth, in which he beareth fruit and bringeth forth in some 100 and some 60 and some 30-fold. Another example is, see, when we bear fruit, we're trying to be the light of the world. We go hand out those cards or hand out those flyers. We go invite people to the Facebook, or we go share these videos. We can say, man, the Almighty blessed me. I want to share this blessing with other people. We may not have the finances to help brothers and help them with this, or help them in their situation, or open your house to brothers and sisters, but you have the ability, because you love people, to share this gospel. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey man, I just want to invite you, check out the Facebook or the YouTube. I make it real easy on our cards. Hey man, check out the Facebook or the YouTube. Here's a QR code on the back. Hey, check us out. And that way, hopefully, all right, cool, shout outs. Hopefully that's a blessing. The best thing you could give anyone is salvation. So, now we dealt with the understanding of the wayside, the rocky ground, the thorny ground, and the good ground. Now I'm going to deal with the parables and how this applies to us today. Verse 10, and we're going to read back to verse 18. And his disciples came and said unto him, why speak unto him in parables? And he said unto him, because I have given it unto you to understand the mysteries of heaven, but to them it is not given. Now, even though he explained it to the people, today these people are still blind. Even though they see, the difference is he never explained it to the people. He only explained it to the apostles to have understanding. Now you have the people able to hear the parable and see the interpretation of the parable, but they still don't have understanding. They're still blind, and I'll show you how. So, and he answered and said to him, because it is given, verse 11, unto you to understand the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him it shall be given, and he shall be more abundant. But whosoever have not, from him it shall be taken away, even that he have. Therefore I speak unto them in parables, because seeing they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. There is people to this day that is on the rocky ground and understand what this parable means, but they still don't see. There's people today that is on thorny ground and understand this parable, and they still don't see that this parable is at the understanding is supposed to be dealing with you, to say, yeah, man, I'm choked out with the cares of this world. Yeah, I'm on rocky ground, man. I come for 3 months, and then I leave and I go back to sin. Then I come to church and then I leave. Then I come to a congregation, or I come to camp, or whatever they go. I come for 6 months. Then every time persecution, man, I fall back away. And so it doesn't matter. You're still blind, and you have the understanding of the parable. Let's keep going. So, and to them it is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, says, by hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and shall not perceive. For the people's heart is waxed gross, and the ears of these people are dull of hearing, and their ears have they closed, lest at any time they shall see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and shall be converted, and I shall heal them. See, the difference why you are in a worse position, the people that's on the rocky and thorny ground, is because they only got the parable. They never got the understanding. And they're on rocky and thorny ground. Their hearts were gross. Your heart is gross, and you understand the parable, and you got the parable, and you have the interpretation of the parable, and yet you're still on rocky ground. You're still on thorny ground. What is your excuse? They only have 50% of what you got, and yet you're still in the same predicament as them. And we really got to think about that stuff. When's the last time you went out of your way to call the brothers or sisters? You're on thorny ground. When's the last time you fed the homeless? When's the last time you invited someone to come to service, or invited someone to come to your house so you could watch service together, or invited someone to come to your house so you could fellowship and talk about the things of God? When's the last time you handed out a congregation card? Or how are you helping the Most High? See, in the back of me is a field, and it's all brown right now, but sometimes it gets green. And let's say this field is flat in this corn or whatnot. I walk in this field, right? I walk in this field, and I'm supposed to be tilling the ground. I'm supposed to be planting some seeds. I'm supposed to be pruning some trees. I'm supposed to be doing something for the Most High, something to build His kingdom. What am I doing staying home and just reading my word and watching Facebook? How is that building His kingdom? You living holy in and of yourself is doing nothing for his kingdom. That's only me living holy and righteous is solely to save my soul. That does not help his kingdom. You need to go be the light of the world. You need to go be productive, lest you're on thorny ground. There's no way around that. So, oh yeah, I'm serving on shalom, shalom, fam. I put little shalom, Shabbat, shalom. I put that on Facebook every Sabbath. No. You need to go work in his field. You need to go in the trenches. You need to go put some work in. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 8. Deuteronomy chapter 8. We're going to start at verse 1. I'm going to show you guys something. Oh, give me Exodus. Sorry. Exodus. We're coming back to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Give me Exodus chapter 14. Exodus chapter 14. Exodus chapter 14. We're going to start at verse 30. While you guys are getting Exodus chapter 14, verse 30, I'm going to look at some of the comments. Shalom, shalom, everyone. Shalom. Cool. Shalom, Angel. Okay, Angel in the game. All right. Shalom, everyone. Under Stanley. There we go. Shalom to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Cool. You guys got the scriptures? Let's get into the book. All right, Exodus chapter 14, starting at verse 30. And the Almighty saved Israel in the day of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. That's when he closed the Red Sea. And Israel saw the great work which the Almighty did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Almighty and believed in the Almighty and his servant Moses. Chapter 15, verse 1. Then sang Moses the children of Israel this song unto the Almighty, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Almighty, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and the rider have he thrown into the sea. Stop right there. Verse 20. So they're singing. They believed the Most High. They believed Moses. They sang unto the Most High for a deliverance. Verse 20. And Miriam the prophetess, the sister Aaron, took the timbrel and in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and dances. And Miriam answered them, Sing ye unto the Almighty, for he hath triumphantly glorious. The horse and the rider he hath thrown down in the sea. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went into the wilderness of Shur, and they were 3 days in the wilderness, and they found no water. Then when they came to Merah, they could not drink of the water of Merah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Merah. Right? Maybe Merah means bitter. And the people murmur against Moses, says, What shall we drink? So they're murmuring against Moses. Right? Already. This is right after 3 days after they were singing unto the Most High. Right? Let's keep going. And they cried unto the Almighty, and he cried unto the Almighty, and the Almighty shewed them a tree, and when he had cast it into the waters be made sweet, and there he made them statutes and ordinance, that he may prove them. Keeping that in mind, we're going to come back to that. And it said, If thou wilt diligently hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy Yah, and will do which is right in his sight, he will give ear unto his commandments, and keep all his statutes. I have put none of these diseases upon which I have brought upon the Egyptians. I am the Lord Almighty that healeth thee. Right? So, chapter 16, verse 1. And they took their journey. Right? This is 3 days after. They took their journey after those 3 days, and they complained about water. And they took their journey from Elam, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness. Actually, they went a couple more places after verse 16, before verse 16. Wilderness of Sin, which is between Elam and Sinai, and the 15th day of the second month after they departed out of the land of Egypt. So 2 months later, right? Let's keep going. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto him, Would to God, would to the Almighty, that we have died by the hand of the Almighty in the land of Egypt. For we sat by the flesh pots when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into the wilderness to kill the whole congregation with hunger. Now this is shortly after, 2 months after the plagues Too much after the Red Sea. They were singing, they were dancing. 2 months, almost 3 months after this, man, what to God? We should have just stayed in Egypt. We should have just stayed in Egypt. See, this is rocky ground. We just read on rocky ground. He says they receive it with joy. They got their deliverance, and they were joy. They were singing songs. The Almighty triumphs gloriously. You know who we be. You know what I'm saying? They were singing onto the Almighty, instruments, dancing before the Almighty. And 3 months later, man, we should have just stayed in Egypt. This is whack. You know what I'm saying? This is whack. See, this is what happens when you're on rocky or thorny ground. These people weren't even on thorny ground. These were on rocky ground. They receive it with joy. When it's beneficial to them, they receive it. But when it gets tough, man, we should just stay in Egypt. This is why when you see people revert back to sin, because sin is better. Sin is easy on the flesh. There is no stress with sin. So let's keep going. This is Deuteronomy chapter 8. Deuteronomy chapter 8. And we're going to start at verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1. Let's get it. All the commandments which I command thee this day you shall observe and do, that you may live and multiply and go into and possess the land which the Almighty sware unto your fathers. Thou shalt remember all the way the Lord thy Yah led these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in your heart, whether thou wilt keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he may make thee know that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth doth man live. So he put this stress on you intentionally, just to build your faith. Just to build your faith and to show you what you're made of. And see, what happens is the Almighty puts this stress on you and you break. How can you know when you're looking for when a woman is looking for a husband, right? Or a man's looking for a wife, but when a woman's looking for the husband, how do you know that she's going to feel protected? There have to be some kind of stress test. There will have to be some kind of drunk guy, or have to be some kind of danger where a car's coming out of the way, and by default while they're dating, he pushes her to the side and put himself in front, or he pushes her out of the way, and that's his first instinct, is to protect his girl or protect his children, protect his wife. Now, that stress test, that was just a test. That wasn't the real thing. That test was put on them. Some kind of stress was put on him, and he made the right choice. And now she feels comfortable. I feel protected when I'm with him. I feel safe when I'm with him. How do you know that he's financially going to take care of you if there is no stress? A situation comes and he rises to the occasion, and you say, I feel comfortable with how he provides. I feel comfortable that he's financially stable. We have situations and he makes good financial decisions. There has to be some kind of stress. There has to be some kind of pressure. And people have this mindset that they're going to make it into the kingdom with no stress on their faith, no pressure test. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going. He says, he suffered you on purpose, that you may know that man shall not live by bread alone. See, Job understood this. This is what Job said. Job 23. Verse 10. Job 23, verse 10. But he knoweth the way that I take, and when I am tried, I shall come forth as gold. We're going to come back to that. He says, and when I am tried, I come forth as gold. My foot have held his steps, his way have I kept, and I have not declined. Neither have I gone back. He's saying, I'm not on rocky ground. Even though stuff has come, I keep his steps. Neither have I gone back from the commandments of his lips. I esteem the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. This is why he says, you should know that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Now, Job says it kind of differently. He says, I esteem the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. The Almighty is a provider. And how do I know the Almighty is a provider? Because I was put under a test, and I say, Almighty, what am I going to do? I'm going to have faith in you. At the end of the day, I'm going to have faith in you. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep your commandments. I've told you, probably told some of you guys, there was a time when my car broke down. And I got this little $800 beater car just to get me to play. Like, I didn't even think it was going to last a week. It was all jacked up. I had this beater car. Right after I bought the beater car, I got laid off. Before I got the beater car, I got an eviction notice. Then I got my car broke down. I got this beater car. I didn't have the money to fix it, and then I got laid off. So I had no car. I had no place to live pretty soon, and then I had no job. And the only thing I said is, all this pressure came. I'm talking about this happened in a 2-week period. You know what I'm saying? And that's stressful. I said, Almighty, at the end of the day, the best thing I could do is just to keep your commandments. That is the best thing I could possibly do in this situation, is to just keep your commandments. Because I would rather go through this stress test with you than to go to sin and then I'm on my own have to deal with this. I'd rather just go through it with you by my side. That's the best thing. And the Almighty blessed me because of that. Now I make way more than all my buddies that kept their jobs. Like, I'm talking about a lot more than all the people in San Diego. I thank the Most High. You know what I'm saying? All praises to the Most High. Who would have known 2 weeks of stress and turmoil would have come up for years of being blessed? Years of financial freedom to a certain extent, you know? So I thank the Most High for it. So let's give me Job chapter 1. We ain't really going to deal too much in Job. Maybe I'll teach you on Job later on. But Job chapter 1. We're going to start at verse 8. And the Almighty said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? There is none like him upon the earth, perfect and upright, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. All those people that say you can't be perfect, the Almighty himself said that Job was perfect. So you're going to call the Almighty a liar? The Almighty called this man perfect. So when you say no one could be perfect, then why? So then that means the Almighty just lied. For all you people, no one's perfect, shut your mouth. That's because you sinning. That's what it is. Perfect in the sight of the Almighty is waking up. To the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you did not willfully transgress against the Most High. There are sins known and unknown. And it's not saying the future you will never sin. You might find something and you mess up or out of input or whatever. No one knows the future but the Most High. But from the time I woke up, I have not lied. I have not stole. I have not committed adultery. I have not ate no pork. I have not broke no Sabbath. From the time I woke up, I am walking perfect right now. I do not know 15 minutes or an hour from now. I'm not the perfect like the Most High who never committed sin. Like I'm a Shiach. But the perfect says, be ye perfect even as my Father's perfect. There is nothing I've done to where I knew it was wrong and I still did it anyways. I have not willfully transgressed the Most High commandments. I had a perfect day, which leads to a perfect week, which leads to a perfect month. That is what he's talking about being perfect. He is not talking about being the Most High who've never committed sin. He's talking about don't willfully transgress my commandments. Have a perfect day. I don't understand what is in people that say you can't be perfect. What is in you that you can't go 24 hours without willfully sinning against the Most High? You may, Almighty, I say, Almighty, forgive me for my sins known and unknown. You know, I might have sinned against you and didn't know it was sin, but Almighty, forgive me, you know. But why can't you go 24 hours without willfully transgressing the Most High commandments? What is so hard for you to just stop listening to this music or stop cussing or stop telling lies? Why can't you do that? So instead of you actually rising to the occasion and having a perfect day, it's easier to say, well, no one's perfect. So when I sleep with your wife, guess what? Don't get mad, dude. No one's perfect. When I molest your kids, hey, no one's perfect. That's what that's what these false churches. Remember, no one's perfect. So don't beat up the guy that molests your little girl or little kid. Remember, no one's perfect. Yeah, I guarantee you're going to put hands on that person that's molesting your kid. But you ain't going to use that no one's perfect. But when it comes to your sin, oh, no one's perfect. No one's perfect. Let it be someone else's sin. You ready to crush him. Let it be where someone kidnapped your kid. Oh, remember, go ahead, let them go free. Don't even send them to jail, because no one's perfect, right? No one's perfect. They always use that excuse to their advantage. Let's keep going. We're at Job chapter 1. Oh, the page is flipped. Bear with me. Let's get it. Then Satan answered the Almighty and said, doth Job fear the Almighty for naught? Has thou not made a hedge about him, and has the house and all that he hath on every side, and thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and the substance is increased in the land? But put forth thy hand now and touch all that he hath, he will curse thee to thy face. So he's saying Job is on rocky ground. Job, bring some persecution. Put Job under some stress, and he'll curse you to his. He's on rocky ground. That's essentially what Satan's saying about Job. Does he serve you for nothing? Put forth something on your hand. He's on rocky ground. Let's keep going. And the Almighty said unto Satan, behold, all that he has is in thy power, only himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went from the presence of the Almighty. And this is why Job's wife didn't die either, because they're one flesh. So let's keep going. And there was a day when the sons of the daughters came eating and drinking in the eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing, and all the donkeys were feeding beside them, and the Sabaeans fell upon them, took them away, and even slain thy servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came another and said, the fire of the Most High fallen from heaven, have burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them, and I only am escaped. And while he was speaking, there said, there came another. The Chaldeans made 3 bands that fell upon thy camels and carried them away, and slain thy servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he spake, there came another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in thy eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young man, and they are dead, and I am only escaped alone to tell thee. And Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head, and fell down on his face and worshipped. And he said, naked I came unto my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. And the Almighty gave, and the Almighty hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Most High. And all this Job sinned not, nor charged the Almighty foolishly. So persecution, tribulation came. All his kids, everything he had, with the exception of his wife and a couple of servants, maybe 4 servants, was wiped out, all in one day. And I had my Job situation where I had my eviction notice, I got laid off, and did not have a car. And the car I had, it was like I might as well have a wagon. That thing was ready to break down. You know what I'm saying? So all in one day, all in 2 weeks. And it wasn't nowhere near as Job, but Job says, I'm going to keep my steps. I'm going to keep the commandments. I'm not on rocky ground. I'm in this for the long run. When we say we're the bride of Hamashiach, when we get into marriage, there has been times in my marriage where I had a refrigerator or microwave, and I was stocking stuff in the garage because I was going to move out. She would still serve the Almighty, so I was going to still do my, as a husband, I was going to pay for all the bills because she's still serving the Most High, and I was just going to get me a little studio and just take care of both households. You know what I'm saying? I was going to do that. If she was a sinner, she on her own. But, you know what I'm saying? But, and there was times where our marriage was like, there's too many broken pieces. It was like powder. It was like broken down to the molecular form, like to try to piece this marriage together. But I'm in it for the long run, and that's how the mindset it is. I'm in it for the long run, and I'm not going to give up on my marriage. I'm not going to give up on my kids. If they go to sin, they go to sin. But when they want to come back, they can come back. If my wife go to sin, then yeah, I'll get rid of her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't go get another one, but I'm not going to stay in a household with a sinner. We've been serving the Almighty way too long. It's not like we came in and I came to truth and she's still a sinner and I'm waiting and working on her. It's totally different. We came at this roughly the same time, and there's no excuses. She wants to live with sin. We just separate off top. But, as far as our ups and downs, I'm in it for the long run. And that's the mindset with the Most High. It's like I'm in it for the long run, through the ups or downs, through the financial struggles and whatnot. There's times where I'm like, Almighty, I don't even want to be on this planet. I'm ready to go. I'm like, Almighty, I'm done. Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I got life insurance. My kids will be set up. Everything. Holla at your boy. You know, and there's times where I really don't want to be, and not suicidal, but I'm like, what's the point? I'd rather just go and be with the kingdom. Like, you know, go to sleep and wake up, and I get judged. I get to be in the kingdom. What is the purpose for me to be here? Sometimes I feel like people don't even want to be saved these days. And I know the scripture, it says, like, in the latter days, many shall fall from the way of the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. I know as the day approaches to where the man of sin arises, and we have a time of tribulation, 42 months or 7 years, I know where Bible prophecy come, it will be harder and harder to find people that want to repent from sin. You know, because it's going to be more strange to them. Like it's harder and harder to find a woman that's wifey material. It's glorified of being a thought. It's glorified their body, their choice, and sleeping with the whole. It's glorified when they're, you know, I'm going to go, everyone, they glorify on YouTube, everyone needs their hoe phase. Why do I want to marry someone that used to be a hoe for 10 years, and now you're 30 years old with 2 kids, and now you want me to take you and give you the wife title, the wife value, when you're devalued for 10 years chasing, got more wieners than Oscar Mayer, and yet I'm supposed to value you to the same degree as a wife? And I'm supposed to take care of these kids that aren't mine and try to raise a kid, and you gonna put your kids before me, and I'm like a second-class citizen of my own house? That makes, like, they glorify being a hoe. And just like these men, these lazy, it's harder to find good men and good women. It's so much more harder to find people that genuinely want to repent and come to the gospel. And so I know this, but I'm like, man, I'm already serving the Most High. What's the point? You know, Elijah, he said, Almighty, who have believed our report? The Almighty sent Isaiah to go out there and to preach this gospel, and no one believed him. So he said, Almighty, who have believed our report? He said, what's the point? Why did you send me here? He sent Jeremiah out there. He said, hey, they're not going to listen to you. I'm just letting you know this now. Jeremiah goes out, cries for the people, cries for the people. He sends Ezekiel out there. He says, hey, they're not going to listen to you. He told Ezekiel from the get-go, hey, I'm sending you, they stiff-necked and hard-hearted. If I sent you to the Gentiles, they'll repent. I'm sending you to your own people. They ain't going to repent. Ezekiel goes out there, sacrificed. His wife had to die as an example. He had to lay on his side. He did all this, and they didn't believe him. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah saved few people, powerful prophets, and they didn't believe him. So Isaiah was like, Almighty, who have believed our report? You send me out here every morning. I'm crying out against sin, telling these people to repent. There's going to be persecution. You're going to go into captivity, pestilence, all this stuff's going to come. Turn, mend your ways. And they still didn't believe him. So then I come today, I'm like, Almighty, what's the point? These people love sin. They love sin, and they do not want to give up sin, even though they know hell is on the line. These people know. Some of these people believe in the Bible and yet still want to live in sin. It's like, Almighty, who I believe your report? I'm ready. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a waste of time. Let these people go to hell. They have a God-given right to go to hell. Just like you have an almighty given right to be saved, you have an all-given right to go to the lake of fire. The Almighty's not, we have free choice. The Almighty doesn't force me to live holy. Neither can Satan force you to commit sin. If you gave in to that temptation, if that woman came at you, or that your old friend handed you a blunt, you chose to pick up that blunt. You chose to buy those cigarettes. You chose to buy that alcohol. No one forced you to commit sin. Neither is the Almighty going to force you to repent and live righteous. So you have an almighty given right to go to the lake of fire, and an almighty given right to live holy. And so right here we see with Job, he didn't charge the Almighty foolishly. He says, hey, you know what? The Almighty giveth, the Almighty take away. Blessed be the name of the Most High. When I went through my situation, you know, it's like, hey, the best thing I could do is not commit sin. It's the best thing I could possibly do in this situation, because I can't work my way out, because I have no job. If I got a job, I have no car. And then if I don't have money, I have no house. I have nothing. In about 30 days, I'm going to be in some trouble. I'm going to be in some serious trouble in 30 days. No job, no car, no place to live. What am I going to do? Stress test is on you. Almighty brought that upon me. You going to go back to sin? No, I ain't going back to sin, Father. You gonna drop a standard to make some money? You gonna work on the Sabbath or something? No, Almighty, I'm not gonna drop no standard. I'm just gonna trust in you. I'm just gonna do your will. I'm just gonna give you the praise. I'm just gonna give you the glory. And now what? My faith is so much stronger. I'm not moving when something else worse than that comes my way. When David came and he went to go fight the Goliath, he didn't say, man, I don't even know what I'm going to do. This is the Almighty would deliver me, because there was a lion that came to my dad's sheep. So a test came. He beat the lion. A bear came. He beat the lion. So when he went through these small tests and a giant came, he says, I already know. I could get the Almighty was with me with that lion. The Almighty was with me with that bear. So I know the Almighty's going to be with me with this giant. So when the Almighty was with me, when I had no job, had no car, and I had no house coming up, the Almighty was with me. So anything that comes my way, I'm standing for righteousness. I'm not going to crumble. I'm not on rocky ground. I'm not on thorny ground. I'm going to stand. I'm going to stand for righteousness. I'm going to stand for truth. I tell people all the time, if everyone on this planet stops believing Almighty, I'll still believe. If everyone on this planet stops having faith, Almighty, I'll still have faith. That's my mindset. I'm not dropping for no one. Not for my wife, for my kids. I'm serving the Almighty all the way. There is no choice. It's either all the way or go all the way to the lake of fire. I'm married to the Most High, and I'm in it for the long run, for the ups and the downs. I'm in it for the long run. You know, so hopefully that ministered. Let's keep going. Let's get some shout outs. Shout outs right here. Praise the Almighty. Shout outs to, there we go, Katora, Renee, Kovesh, Ethan. Shout out to Ethan. I heard a lot of people. I am Teacher Simon. This is a congregation. This is a group of believers living holy, living clean. If you're looking for a congregation, hit us up. If you have not found a congregation, maybe the Almighty's crossing paths because you need a congregation. You cannot save yourself. Only ministers can baptize you. So there is no, oh, I have my friend, this homeless guy down the street, baptize me. You need to be baptized to be saved. You need to have a body of believers. There's scriptures you cannot obey without a congregation. You need to be part of the congregation. No matter what state, if you got to go to a different state to get baptized and you come for the feast days and meet the brother, whatever, if you have service on the Sabbath, on live stream, whatever, you need to find a body of believers and plant yourself. Let's keep going. Johnny, Marcia Ruthert, Mania, Laduya, Surah, Kamari, Ariel, Nava, Kasheth, and Zahara. And shout out, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. So cool. Give me Mark chapter, we almost done. Mark chapter, how much time we got? All right, cool. Mark chapter 9. Mark chapter 9. I'm going to start verse 49. Mark chapter 9, verse 49. I'm going to read some of the comments. Cool. Let's get it. For everyone shall be salted with fire, and every sacrifice shall be salted with salt. So everyone's going to be tried. Everyone's going to be tried. Let me get James. James chapter 1. James chapter 1. It says, be ye a living sacrifice. We need to be a living sacrifice. It says we die to ourselves daily. Every sacrifice will be tried with fire. James chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 1 through 3. James, the servant of the Most High, and of the Lord Yeshua, of the Almighty Yeshua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, even unto this day. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing that the trial of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have a perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. He's saying, hey, count it all joy. When I went through that, it wasn't joyful through the storm, but I know every single storm that comes our way, if I get to the other side of this tornado, if I nothing but blessings on the other side. So when I see a storm coming, it's like, praise the Most High. The Almighty's going to do a strong deliverance. In the midst of it, when I see it coming, I'm like, praise the Almighty. I'm going to just get stronger. My faith is only going to get stronger. In the midst of it, you're like, oh, man. And the Almighty has a way of always redlining. He always has a way of getting you right to that, not where you quite break, but right to that breaking point where your faith is being tried to the outer limits, right? You're being stressed. And then right when you think you can't take it, or right when you think you're ready to just like say you're going to throw in the towel, right when you're like reach, bam, you get through it and the Almighty blesses you, you know, but now you're that much stronger. He stretched that rubber band and now your faith is this. And then he stretches it to where the rubber band is going to snap and then he stops. And then he stretches it to the where, and that's how your faith grows. You have to be put under stress. There is no way around that. You have to be in diverse temptations. It says rejoice. Your faith, the trial in your faith is much more patient. He's going to prove you. Let's keep going. Give me 1 Peter chapter 1. 2 more scriptures and we done. 1 Peter chapter 1. Verse 6. Wherein greatly rejoice through for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. A lot of things is coming your way in life. The trial of your faith be much more precious than gold that perish. So remember, Job said, I will come forth as pure gold. And we know gold is tried by the fire, and they get the dross off, the elements or the stuff that's not belong, and make it pure. You get all the infirmities out of it to make it pure gold. This is why Job said, I will come forth as pure gold. This is why, we're more precious than gold, but we have to be tried through the fire. Let's keep going. Though it be tried with fire, it might be found in praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yeshua Mashiach. So the thing is, when you get tried, some people break. The people on thorny ground, they break. They were tried. The Almighty was already going to bring them to a promised land. They just had to get through the storm. And the storm was only like 2.5 years. They only did 40 years because of disobedience. They just had to get through this wilderness. They had their wilderness. But there was a blessing on the other side. I have to go through this. The Almighty gives me deliverance. He gives me enough faith. The 7 plagues, the Passover, the Red Sea. All right, he gave you your faith. You got enough faith to get through this wilderness. Now you need to go. We're going to go through. And less than 3 months later, man, we should just stayed in Egypt. There was so much of a blessing on the other side they would have received had they just stayed in the Most High. And said, at the end of the day, let me just keep his commandments. Let me just keep his commandments and we'll get through. But only few of them had that mindset. These are why these stories are so powerful, because Moses had that mindset. Caleb had that mindset. Joshua had that mindset. Moses got frustrated and hit the rock, but it's not that he didn't have faith like the other people. He never said, yeah, let's just go back to Egypt. He had faith. He just it fell into disobedience out of frustration. You know what I'm saying? He just made a mistake at an impulse. Like, if you say something happens and you do it at an impulse, and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. That was at an impulse. It wasn't premeditated. It was just, it just came out at an impulse. And he just, must I fetch water for you rebels? And out of frustration, he did something wrong. But his faith was there. But there was a blessing on the other side. And every time you go through that in life, there is a blessing on the other side, but you never receive it. Because some of you guys, I'll just go, and you'll compromise. And yeah, you didn't go back to sin, but you didn't stand strong for the Most High. And it's like, you never get the blessing. And then you're always financially struggle, or going through this marital problem, having problems with your kid. Some of these things you're going through simply because you didn't stay strong. You're going through your own wilderness now. I don't know how long that's going to take for you to get through it. Maybe he had a blessing, but you decided to break a Sabbath. That one Sabbath, now you're going to be struggling for 2 years. Almighty says, oh, you want to do that? Hey, I'm going to make it to where you struggle for 2 years. You're going to struggle for 2 years. I had a good job for you, but you're going to be struggling for 2 years. Because of that, okay, don't even worry about it. Keep that job. Don't even worry about it. Keep that. I had something better for you, but guess what? You just struggled for 2 years. Maybe you'll get it right in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Now, if the Almighty gives us this to let us know that you will be proved. You will have a stress test. Your faith will be tried. He's showing you that, hey, you will be tried. It's going to come your way. As we just read in James and as we just read in 1 Peter, this will come your way if it hasn't already, and you will have some every single year. Some of them are small. Oh, that's easy. I've been through, and some of them are tough ones. Some of them are some tough ones. Like, man, I never been through this one before, but I have my lions and I have my bears. So the Almighty showed me He's with me. So whatever happens, hey, I really have that mindset now. Like, or take me out of the picture. The brothers and sisters in the body need to have that mindset to where, hey, man, if I live or if I die for the Most High. Hey, if I get evicted, I get evicted in the Most High. If I keep a house, I keep a house for the Most High. You know what I'm saying? If I live on the streets, I live on the streets for the Most High. If I have a house, I have a house for the Most High. And really, like, hey, wherever the chips fall, I'm going to stay on the Most High side. When Moses came and seen they made the golden calf, he said, whoever is on the Almighty side, come over here. And the Levites came over there. He said, destroy every man, his brother, his wife, his kid, and whatnot. And they went into the camp and started killing people. He said, whoever, at the end of the day, hey, I'm on the Almighty side. Whether I have money or not, I'm on the Almighty side. Whether I'm hungry and I'm fasting or I have food in my stomach, I'm on the Almighty side. And just like, hey, I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? And really just have that mindset of, we got to stand strong for holiness and righteousness. Let's keep going. Last scripture, if the Almighty proved you, if Almighty proved them and tested them, He will do for you. It says every sacrifice, be ye a living sacrifice. Every sacrifice will be tried with fire. Every sacrifice. Let's keep going. 2 Chronicles chapter 16, last scripture. 2 Chronicles chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 9. 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 9. For the eyes of the Almighty run to and fro through the whole earth to shew Himself strong on the behalf of them whose heart is perfect towards Him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore henceforth thou shalt have wars. Now, I actually like this chapter. We're going to go over that scripture because it dealt with the king called Asa. And Asa was in a battle. And the Almighty delivered them. They just praised the Most High, and he trusted the Most High, and the Almighty delivered them. So a worse battle with war, man, a bigger situation came. A giant came their way. And what happened is Asa paid Gentiles. He did it the worldly way. Instead of trusting the Most High, he trusted. And he did get delivered. But the Almighty said right here, because you done foolishly and didn't trust me in this time, guess what? Now you're going to have plenty of wars. You did this to avoid war. Guess what? You're going to have wars until you die. Because the first time the Almighty, it's the equivalent of the Almighty giving them the lion, deliverance from the lion and the bear. And the giant comes up and he just pays some man to go assassinate the giant instead of trusting in the Most High. And so the Almighty says, you done foolishly. Therefore, you're going to have plenty of wars. But the first part, for the eyes of the Almighty run to and fro throughout the whole earth to shew Himself strong on the behalf of those whose heart is perfect before Him. For Him to show Himself strong, you have to be in a situation where you're weak. Financially weak, emotionally weak, your life is in danger and you have no power to deliver yourself. You have to be in a situation for Him to show Himself strong. Right? So He's going to and fro the whole earth to see whose heart is perfect before Him. When He goes to your city and He looks around, who's having faith? Who's keeping His commandments? He wants to show Himself strong on them whose heart is perfect before Him. Who's here that really loves me? Who's here? It says, when the Son of Man come, will He find faith on earth? That's the Almighty. How do you know He's a strong tower? Because when David said that, he defended the Almighty. How could he say He's a shield? Because his life was in danger and the Almighty defended him like a shield. How could he say these things if he wasn't in a situation where he needed the Almighty and the Almighty showed Himself a shield there where they couldn't touch Him? The Almighty is my shepherd, I shall not want. How do you know that? How do you know that, David? Because I was in a situation where I was lacking and I had much want of things, food, raiment, whatever, and the Almighty provided for me. So I know that I shall not want because He is a provider for me. That's how I know. That's how I could write that. And instead of saying, I shall want because the Almighty didn't come through, He came through. This is what makes David's testimony so strong. This is why when he writes and he says, hey, through Him I could run through a tree, I could jump a wall, I could run like a leopard. Through Him I could do anything. There's nothing I cannot do if the Almighty is on my side. Because in my past experience, the Almighty came to my side and came to my rescue time and time again. So let's keep going. So hopefully that helps you. We're going to get into some news. Praise the Almighty. All right. We're going to get into some news. You guys ready? So, long story short is, you choose what ground you want to be on. Whether you choose to be on rocky ground, whether you choose to be on thorny ground. The fact that you're watching me, you're probably not on the wayside. But, hey, let's be on good ground. Let's be fruitful. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it into the kingdom. So, news. These are the countries that have CBDCs or testing CBDCs. CBDCs is central bank digital currency. There's a central bank. For all countries, they're the main printing press of money, and they dictate how much money gets printed out, and the worth of money based upon how much money gets printed out, or what the world views their money dollars worth, what their GDP or what gross income they bring to increase the dollar value of their dollar. So they're going digital now. Whether dealing with Bible prophecy or dealing with just persecution's sake, we know that there will come a time where you neither could buy or sell unless you have a mark of the beast. Now, I'm not saying CBDCs is this, but it won't be possible to do that unless there's one currency to rule the world. There can't be a whole bunch of different currencies out there. There has to be one currency. And yes, every country will have its own central bank digital currency, but that currency will align because it's digital and be universal. There'll be a bridge currency or whatnot, and it'll be universal. So I'm gonna get into this a little bit. Here's a couple of countries. These are ones either testing or actually have CBDCs. Switzerland, the Bahamas, France, Philippines, Japan, Turkey, Switzerland, China already has theirs, Nigeria already has theirs for sure. The European Union or the UK, the Marshall Islands, South Korea, Canada, and there's another one, Previa or something. I don't know the country name, but more likely the United States is working on it, but we're fighting that because it's the whole privacy. The main point is there's a digital currency. If there gets a currency to rule the whole world, then after that we're just waiting for a man of sin to pop up. There'll be, I speculate, not prophesying, some worldwide event like some alien invasion or maybe another virus or some worldwide event that happens to all the nations and they're suffering, and some savior rises to the occasion, which is the man of sin, and brings words of peace and somehow convince these people to worship them and that beast in the image of his name and whatnot. I'm saying that because I'm just speculating how this is going to play. There will have to be some worldwide event to where all these nations will submit their power to one man to rule the whole earth. So probably some virus or they're releasing all this alien footage or something. I don't know how they're going to play this out. If the saints of God knew, we could prepare better. We watch and pray that these days don't catch us unaware. So another part as far as the persecution aspect of it is now they're going to be able to track everything you do. If they go full digital, no cash like some countries, then there's nothing you could buy. If they decide you can't buy that, you can't buy that. There's banks that stop people from buying cryptocurrency because millions of dollars were leaving banks and going to the exchanges to buy cryptocurrency, because you make no interest off of banks, 0.01% or 1% if possible or whatever. But I put it in a cryptocurrency in exchange, and my $100 could turn into $500. It's way better to go into the cryptocurrency. And yeah, there's up and down, but so banks were actually stopping people from buying with their own bank account. They'll have to take their money out and find another means to buy cryptocurrency. So when everything's digital, they dictate how much money you have. They dictate where your money at. It's gonna be tough because now if they decide, hey, well, if you don't do this, then we freeze your account. They have too much power. You could only do so much. If I could take my money out the bank and have my money at the house, I could still get gas, I could still do this, but everything's digital now. So you get to the point where there is no cash, where more and more places do not take cash, so you can't hide what you do. They track where you go. Oh, he's in Texas right now because he just stopped at a gas station. Every place you go is going to be tracked. I could get in my car, take cash out of my bank, get in my car and go to another state and leave my cell phone, and they can't track me. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be able to track me. But if everything's digital, oh, he's buying from this website, oh, he's a threat, he's a prepper. Oh, he's watching this website, oh, he's buying, purchasing this. It's going to get real tight. My main thing is, when everything goes digital, just get ready for the madness to pop up on the scene. It's not going to be long. It's going to be some worldwide event, maybe some volcano. I don't know how it's going to go down. You know what I'm saying? I just know the dollar has to fail. Blockchain technology or digital currency will arise to rule the whole world. Everyone's on the same playing field. It's not, oh, my money's worth more than your money. You got Zimbabwe money and Switzerland and Canadian dollar, New Zealand and the yen. No, it'll just be one little digital currency. Everything has their digital currency. Everything's transactional. So when someone rules, they can rule all that. They rule all the finances for the planet. They make it to, there's more and more people going out to countries and have the unbanked become banked through digital currency. So this is how they're going to get these tribes or these villages out there that don't even really use cash or don't even have a bank account. This is how they're going to get them to take the mark of the beast. This is how they're going to get them to submit and directly or indirectly worship the beast. Whether they know they're worshiping or not, hey, you're done for it. And I'm not saying, you know, stuff is the mark of the beast. I'm not going to be like some of these people that they always try to make everything Bible prophecy. But I'm saying the more countries get on this, the less time we have. The more countries go on this, less time we have. Another thing you need to be looking at is when something happens and Russia, China, and North Korea submit to some kind of authority, get ready for the man of sin to come on the scene. Because people are saying, oh, the vaccination is the mark of the beast. How is it the mark of the beast when China, North Korea, and Russia are at odds? They're not going to submit to no UN. There have to be something to rule all nations. All nations submit and give their authority to this one man. So how is the vaccination the mark of the beast? It doesn't make sense. Another thing is a thing been going on saying, oh, you know, when you get the, you know, the Q-tip and it hits your pineal gland and your pituitary and this, and people somewhat believe that when you put that in there, it hits your pituitary gland and your, you know, your third eye or whatnot, you know. One, if you look up how to take a tumor out of a pituitary gland, they go through the nose, they cut some flesh, they cut some skull, and then they go and then they hit your pituitary gland. They hit your pineal gland or whatnot, your pituitary gland, right? So for you to say a Q-tip does not go through your skull. So you people that believe, not just Hebrews, you people that believe, you got to be careful, because sometimes these people on Facebook post this stuff and they're trying to be so spiritual to where they look superstitious or they look carnal or they look dumb. They try to like be so spiritual to where they become dumb. And it's like, fact check this stuff. Fact check what I taught today. Fact check what I'm about. Check out my website. Check out the pictures. Check out True Hebrews United YouTube. Fact check everything. Don't just believe in this YouTube stuff. And not only they don't fact check, it's one thing to believe that without fact checking, but then they share this disinformation, false information. They share it out there. And so now you're trying to corrupt other people to believe on something that you did not fact check. And sometimes I see people, like people that even watch, I'm like, why did they, like, well, sometimes people just like it and they kind of share it and they didn't really, and you're like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But some people be sharing stuff that, like, if you take the time and think, like, that does not make any sense. Like, that's basic human anatomy. Your pineal gland isn't going to be right exposed where your nasal canal is, to where what you breathe could just touch your pineal gland. You know what I'm saying? You just going ahead and just snot, boogers, whatever stuff you breathe. Come on now. It's in your skull. Your skull is protected for a reason. Your brain is protected for a reason. It's not so where stuff you breathe could go in and you breathe nerve gas or whatever could just go into your brain. Like, really just think about that stuff. Like, hey, watch out with that stuff. So hopefully you guys don't get caught in that. Is there anything else? Any questions, comments, concerns? No, I don't see any comments. So praise the Almighty. Hopefully that was a blessing to you guys. I love you guys. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. If you're looking for a congregation, check out True Hebrews United. You can reach us at 619-501-1375. Doesn't matter what state you are. You know what I'm saying? Come out there, you come out, get baptized, be a part of the body, and fellowship with us and whatnot. Come out for the feast days and whatnot. Be a part of the body. If you've been 6 months, 8 months looking for a congregation, I'm the only one that's popping up on the scene, that's a good indication the Almighty wants you to be saved, and that's a good indication maybe you need to plant yourself at True Hebrews United. So with all that said being done, keep standing. Don't drop standards. Give the Almighty a hand clap. Shalom. I love you guys. I didn't see no hand claps on the message. Still don't see no hand claps. Shalom.